Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Stadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Narayanam Guru Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanu Purnam Radha Dasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyam Rupamanjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Bandhavam Acharya Narayanam Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha. Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Nismira Hasara Murali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vrindai Tulasi Devyai Priyaye Keshavasicha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramu 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradatama Shri Guru Pada Padma Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paribrajacharya Ashtottara Sata Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudeva, and to my most worshipable Shiksha and Sannyasa Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Sata Srimad Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shri Rupanava Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time to begin reading from Sri Raya Ramananda Samvada, the meeting, the discussion between Sri Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let us start from the introduction written to the first Hindi edition by Srila Gurudev. It is a matter of great joy that today, by the causeless mercy and inspiration of my most revered spiritual master, Om Vishnupada Ashtottara Sata Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Goswami Maharaj, this commentary known as Sajanto Shani on Sri Raya Ramananda Samvada is being presented as a separate book for the faithful readers. Sri Raya Ramananda Samvada, the conversation between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Raya Ramananda, is one of the most shining treasures within the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, written by Srila Krishnadasa Kaviraj. Indeed, it is like the Kaustuba Mani, the most brilliant jewel adorning the neck of Shri Krishna himself. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is a most unprecedented gem-like literature containing the Siddhanta, transcendental conclusions of pure devotion. With regards to this, the most respected Sri Narottam Das Thakur has written the following. Krishnadasa Kaviraj Rasika Bhakta Ja Jai Ho Kaila Chaitanya Charit Gaura Govinda Lila Shonite Galai Shila Tahate Na Hoile Mora Chitta. Prarthana number 2. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is an exceptionally high-class devotional poet. He is also bhavuka, one who is immersed in experiencing the more elevated expressions of divine love. He has composed the unprecedented sacred texts, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which describes the pastimes of Sri Gauranga, and Sri Govinda Lilamrita, which depicts the pastimes of Sri Govinda. Both of these books, being crown jewels of transcendental literature, are the best of all contributions. So following the respectful tradition of Gauriya Vaishnavism, Srila Gurudev, he begins his Mangalacharana offering pranams to his Gurudev, and after to the author of the Ramananda Samvada, which is Srila Kaviraj Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So everything accordingly. Srimad Bhagavatam, the king of devotional literature and the essence of all Vedanta, is considered to be the birthplace of Shuddha Bhakti, and it was revealed to Bhagavan Sri Krishna Dvipayana Veda Vyas during his devotional trance. Similarly, the two above mentioned books by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami are also acknowledged as the very essence of Vedanta, the Puranas, and all historical records. Full of humility, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj writes in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, "Ei granta lekhaya mor madana mohan, amar likhana jena sukira patan, sei likhi madana gopal je likhai, kastira putali jena kuhake nachai." Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 8, 78-79. Sri Madan Mohan is directly writing this book through me. My writing is just like a parrot who repeats what it has learned from another. I am writing what Sri Madan Gopal is himself dictating to me. I am simply a wooden puppet, dancing or writing according to his desire. So it's very interesting now. The glorification of Chaitanya Charitamrita itself comes, as well as the acknowledgement that the original author of Chaitanya Charitamrita is actually Krishna himself, in the form of Sri Madan Mohan or Madan Gopal. This is the same. The previous name of Madan Mohan Diti was Madan Gopal. After it went with Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad, then it became Madan Mohan. But previously, it was Madan Gopal. So reading the creation of that scripture, Srila Kaviraj Goswami states therein, Chaitanya Lila Ratna Sar Swarupera Bandar Tenho Duila Raguna Tira Kante Taha Kichuje Shunilum Tahai Hang Vistarilum Bhakta Gane Dilum Ei Bete. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 2.84. For 16 years, Srila Raghunatha Das Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, stayed directly at the lotus feet of Sri Sachinandana Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Sridham Jagannath Puri. That which he witnessed and heard directly by his transcendental eyes and ears, and that which he heard from his close association with Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami, who is an internal associate of the Lord, is the foundation for this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So now, apart from saying that Madan Mohan inspired him and wrote everything, now he's putting one more element, is that actually he compiled based on the notes of Srila Raghunatha Das Goswami. And Raghunatha Das Goswami, he wrote whatever he heard or saw from Mahaprabhu or Swarup Damodar and other associates of Mahaprabhu. So it has many sources. So then the book continues. There is a picture of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, like a painting of him. And then, commenting on this section of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in his Amrita Pravaha Bhashya, Srila Swarupa Damodar Goswami is one of the most intimate associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has described the final pastimes of Sriman Mahaprabhu in his notebook or Kadacha in the form of condensed anecdotes or sutras. Sri Raghunatha Das Goswami memorized all those notes. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami heard those notes directly from him and expanded upon them in composing his Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. In this regard, the author wrote elsewhere, Swarupa Gosai Kadachaya Je Lila Likila Raghunatha Das Mukhe Je Saba Shunila Sei Saba Lila Kahi Sankshep Korea Chaitanya Kripate Liki Chudra Jivahana. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila 269 and 270. I have heard from the mouth of Sri Raghunatha Das Goswami all about the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Swarup Damodar Goswami recorded in his notebook. I have briefly described those pastimes. Whatever I have written is by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, since I am an insignificant living being. Sri Kaviraj Goswami took birth in the West Bengal village of Jamatapur, which is near the well-known Naihati rail station. He did not mention anywhere the name of his mother or father, his previous childhood name, or his status in terms of his caste and social position based upon indications in his writings and literatures of others. We surmise that he was present in the world from 1452 until 1538. So like around 80 years of age. In regard to the identity of his caste, there is difference of opinion among various learned persons. The Vaishnava Society awarded Srila Kaviraj Goswami the title Kaviraj, or King of Poets, for his significant contribution of poetic Sanskrit, Sri Govinda Lilamrita. In Bengal, Ayurvedic doctors are also called Kavirajas. For this reason, some people assume that he was also a doctor by caste. Kaviraj Goswami perfectly exemplified the verse Trinadapi Sunichana, Shikshastaka number 3. In other words, he possessed all the qualities of a humble Vaishnava. He himself writes in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jagai Madai hoite mui she papishta, Purishera kitta hoite mui she lagishta, Moranam shune jai tar punya khoi, Moranam loy jai tar pap hoy. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 5, 205, 206. I am more weak than Jagai and Madai, and even lower than a worm in a stool. Anyone who hears my name loses the results of his pious activities, and anyone who takes my name incurs in sin. The respected author identifies Sri Raghunatha Das Goswami, the eternal associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his spiritual master. Sri Govinda, Sri Chaitanya, Sri Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Sri Bhakta, Ara, Sri Shrutya Vrinda, Sri Swarupa, Sri Rupa, Sri Sanatana, Sri Raghunatha Das, Sri Guru, Sri Jiva Charan, Iha Sabar Charana Kripa, Je Lekhaya Mare, Ar Ekka Hoy, Tenho Ati Kripa Kure. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila 20, 96, 98. I have written this book by the mercy of the lotus feet of Sri Govinda Dev, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, other devotees, and the readers of this book, as well as Swarup Damodar Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Das Goswami, who is my spiritual master, and Sri Jiva Goswami. A supreme personality has also favored me. So you see now he's mentioned the name of Govinda Dev, not more Madan Mohan. So different perspectives he's giving from the origin of his writings. And so many other Vaishnavas inspired him and gave him blessings for that. Sri Kaviraja Goswami ends nearly every chapter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by writing, Shri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Jarash Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishna Das. Always praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath for their mercy, I, Krishna Das Kaviraj, recite this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Therein the author describes many jewels, such as Shri Shikshastak, spoken by Sriman Mahaprabhu, Shri Rupa Shiksha, Mahaprabhu's instructions to Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Shiksha, Mahaprabhu's instructions to Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Ramananda Raya Samvada, Mahaprabhu's discussions with Shri Raya Ramananda, and the questions and answers between Shri Gopinath Acharya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Each of these discussions gives the essence of all the scriptures. Each of them contains a perfect description of the conclusive truths concerning Samvada, means one's relationship with Bhagavan, Abhideya, one's activities in that relationship, and Prayojana, the ultimate goal of life. In the conversation between Shri Ramananda Rai and Sriman Mahaprabhu, the prema of Srimati Radhika is established as the crest jewel of all attainments. Later in the conversation, Shri Raya Ramananda describes the very elevated state of devotional love called Prema Vilasa Vivarta. Prema Vilasa Vivarta is a high level of prema experienced by Srimati Radhika when, even at the time of separation from Shri Krishna, due to the influence of Adhiruddha Mahabhav, Srimati Radhika feels that she is meeting with him. Upon hearing of this supremely exalted state, Sriman Mahaprabhu accepted it as the soul's ultimate goal. Sriman Mahaprabhu also accepted that following the footsteps of the Sakhis of Braja is the only method by which to attain this ultimate goal. By hearing with complete faith this conversation between Sri Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one will achieve Prema Bhakti to the lotus feet of Sri Radha Krishna. And automatically, as a secondary result, one will also achieve complete knowledge of Krishna Tattva, Radha Tattva, Prema Tattva, and Rasa Tattva. The fundamental truths regarding the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna, his eternal consort, Sri Radha, the love they share, and the varieties of exchanges between Shri Krishna and his intimate associates. So very nice, description of what is the goal of the book and what is the book giving to us, and especially the blessings which comes after reading and studying this book. So now Srila Gurudeva, he summarized, very, very nicely what are the benefits of the book and what you can get out of the book. All different tattvas, not all different tattvas, sorry, but like the special tattvas, as he mentions, Krishna Tattva, Radha Tattva, Prema Tattva, and Rasa Tattva, especially these four tattvas. Of course, other tattvas will also be somehow or other touched. But the object of this book is to describe these things. And we're going to see this very beautiful exchange and very sweet step-by-step approach that Mahaprabhu is actually doing towards Raya Ramananda, and how Raya Ramananda, he is, replying slowly to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then we can put all the steps of this long stair and then come to the highest point. Sri Ramananda Rai was the governor of the southern regions of the kingdom ruled by the heroic Orissa king Maharaj Prataparudra. Residing in Vidyanagar on the banks of the holy river Godavari, present-day Kobur, Rajamundari in Andhra Pradesh, he performed his administrative duties. On his journey to South India, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took darshan of Jyara Nisrinha. After which he went to the bank of the Godavari for his early morning bath. Sri Ramananda Rai was also there taking bath, appearing like royalty and surrounded by many Brahmanas chanting Vedic mantras. There they met and were thoroughly struck by each other. Sri Ramananda Rai invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spend a few days in that place. On his insistence, Srimad Mahaprabhu accepted the invitation and stayed on for several days at the house of a Vedic Vaishnava Brahmana. On the day of their meeting, at dusk, Sri Ramananda Rai, wearing the dress of an ordinary person, returned to the bank of the river to meet Srimad Mahaprabhu, who instructed him to present statements from various Vedic literatures on both the living entities Sadhya, what is the ultimate goal, and Sadhana, the process by which the goal is attained. So Sadhya is the goal, Sadhana is the process, is the means to achieve that goal. So both will be discussed. Initially, Ramananda Rai suggested Varnashram as practiced by ordinary persons. Srimad Mahaprabhu finally accepted Jnana Shunya Shuddha Bhakti as the goal. Asked by Mahaprabhu to say more about Bhakti, Sri Ramananda Rai first explained pure devotional attraction to Shri Krishna. He then successively described love for Krishna in the mood of a servant, Dasya Prema, in the mood of a friend, Sakya Prema, and in the mood of parent, Vatsalya Prema. And finally, he explained Kanta Prema, the love of a female beloved for Shri Krishna, as the essence of all ultimate attainments. On the platform of varieties of scriptural evidence, Ramananda Rai also showed how Kanta Prem is the essence of all perfection. Upon Srimad Mahaprabhu's acceptance of Kanta Prem as the soul's ultimate goal means Madhurya Ras, okay? Just to make clear, Kanta Prem means Madhurya Ras. Srimad Ramananda Rai went on to describe the prema of Srimati Radhika as the topmost. Hearing this, Srimad Mahaprabhu became extremely pleased. He asked him to then describe the nature of Shri Krishna and Srimati Radhika, and also the nature of Rasa Tattva and Prema Tattva. Using examples from scripture as a basis, Sri Ramananda Rai gave a most detailed sequential account of these topics. When Srimad Mahaprabhu instructed him to explain these subjects more extensively, Sri Ramananda Rai sang a self-composed song extolling the state of Prema Vilasa Vivarta, which is comprised of the feelings of separation from Krishna experienced in Adhiruddha Bhava. There's a footnote for Adhiruddha Bhava, where is explaining what it is. It means the final limit of Mahabhava, which is the very essence of Krishna's pleasure-giving potency. Adhiruddha Mahabhava is characterized by the feeling that each moment is like a day of Brahma, when one is separated from Krishna, and the feeling that a day of Brahma is like a moment when one is meeting him. Okay, so this is Adhiruddha Bhava. Okay. So finally, upon the request of Srimad Mahaprabhu, Sri Ramananda Rai established the exclusive cultivation of devotional service under the guidance of the Sakis of Braj, to be the one and only method of attaining the ultimate perfection of Sri Radha Krishna's direct loving service. Now this Gopi, Gopi Bhav, Gopanugatya, and the guidance of gopis, and the guidance of manjaris, then you can achieve that. After many nights of continuously hearing and discussing topics about Shri Radha and Krishna, upon receiving the direct darshan of Sriman Mahaprabhu's Mula Tattva, means his own true identity as Shri Krishna covered by the sentiments and complexion of Shri Radha, means his Rasaraj Mahabhava Swarupa, and also his form, his Swaswarupa as sannyasi, Shri Ramananda Rai fell unconscious. With a supremely cooling touch of his lotus hands, Sriman Mahaprabhu roused him, and after releasing him from his embrace, forbade him from revealing his form and identity to anyone. So, at the end of their conversation, Mahaprabhu, he manifests this Rasaraj Mahabhav Swarupa, means the combined form of Radha and Krishna. Rasaraj Krishna, Mahabhava Swarupini Srimati Radhika. The Raya Ramananda, he was unable to hold himself, and then he fainted. Then Mahaprabhu embraced him, and slowly, Ramananda Rai, he gained consciousness, and Mahaprabhu told him, please don't reveal this, what you have seen, to anyone. Mahaprabhu ordered Shri Ramananda Rai to abandon his royal responsibilities and to go to live in Sri Jagannath Puri. He told him that after visiting various holy places in South India, he would return there to Sri Jagannath Puri, and together they would dwell in complete happiness, hearing and chanting topics of Sri Radha Krishna's pastimes for the rest of their lives. This instruction of Mahaprabhu to Ramananda Rai. After that, Ramananda Rai, he would become Mahaprabhu's personal assistant, along with Swarup Damodar and Govinda, and three of them, they would be with Mahaprabhu during the nights in Gambhira and stimulating the moods of Mahaprabhu, for him be able to experience the love of Srimati Radhika and the feelings of separation that Srimati Radhika had for Krishna. More specifically, this is Adhirudh Mahabhav. Mahaprabhu's special mood is that he is relishing the separation mood in Krishna's pastime, Radha Krishna's pastimes. This way, all the followers of Mahaprabhu, like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunatha, they always write and they express always, mostly, this mood of separation. They don't say, oh, I have Krishna, I have Radha with me, I'm always serving them. No. Their prayers, their books are always aspiring for that service, always calling them out, looking for them, searching for them. He Radhe Brajadevi Ke Chalalite, He Nanda Shuno Huta. Where is Radha? Where is Lalita? Where is Vishaka? Where is Krishna? So this is their mood. So in this way, this is the, what to say, identity of Mahaprabhu's special mood, relishing mostly the mood of separation. So continue reading from the book. Some years ago, I spent the month of Purushottama in Sri Jagannath Puri, discussing this conversation between Sri Ramananda Rai and Sriman Mahaprabhu in depth. At that time, my dear daughter, Savita, expertly took extensive notes. Later, she gave those notes to my dear daughter, Madhu Kandewal, who is a MA PhD for editing. By adding Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Amrita Pravaha commentary on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's Anubhasha commentary on the same, as well as a range of evidence from various books, such as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sri Ujjwala Nilamani, Dagda Madhav, and Lalit Madhav, she produced a highly attractive and comprehensive manuscript. In completion, I made some further corrections and enhancements to the work. My hope is that the faithful readers will be benefited tremendously by reading and following this book. So this Madhu Didi, she's from Bombay. She's a very learned devotee, and she also gives Bhagavad Saptaha. Perhaps you know her. And Kavita also, she's the, what to say, she lives in Vrindavan, you know, she's like a renounced person, and she's also preaching very nicely everywhere, very, very qualified as well. So Srila Gurudeva, he used to have a team of many editors and contributors to all his books. And they were like, you know, free to add things and to, you know, make it nice as if they were writing on behalf of Srila Gurudeva. In this way, Srila Gurudeva, he was able to publish many books at the same time. And after, he would just check it, as he said, complement, enhance, you know, correct, and then sign his name. Okay, I agree with this. This is correct. So this can be published. So in this way, this book came out like that. So I pray that their lordship, Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari, may shower their mercy upon everyone who contributed in various ways to the book's production. Owing to the book's swift production, it will naturally contain some grammatical and typographical errors. If the kind readers would indicate these to me for correction, the next edition will be improved. There is no need to say anything further about this. What was the mood of Srila Gurudev when publishing books? Often he said that the sincere readers, they will not look for mistakes. They will not look for, you know, faults. They will look for mood and for Siddhanta. As long as these two are preserved in the book is worthy of reading and will benefit you. But those who are always critical and looking here and there like just external things, they will criticize looking the possible, you know, mistakes which come because of the like speedy, you know, a type of publication. And Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada as well. He was in the same policy. Published as soon as possible, no problem. Most important is to have the book for preaching and for nourishing the devotees bhajan. This is most important. We're not seeking to be like bestsellers or recognized by academy or anything like that, or critics from newspapers or magazines. We're not aspiring for that. So in this way, for us, mood and Siddhanta, this is what we are looking for. So in this way, Srila Gurudeva, he ends his introduction to the first Hindi edition, which was in 2006, 17th of August, in Nandotsav day, begging a particle of the mercy of Sri Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas, Tridandi Bhikshu, Sri Bhaktivedanta Narayan. So in this way, we concluded the introduction of Sri Raya Ramananda Samvada. We're going to stop here and then continue next time. Hare Krishna.